It's hazing week at Oedipi sorority. Harriet was in charge of the new pledges.
Assume the position. I said it! Bend over! Yeah!
Too bad for them, she's the daughter of a Marine drill instructor. Now, after surviving a week of abuse, the pledges prepared for their final humiliation. Oedipi's annual mud wrestling match. The pledges made a mud pit.
Hey, pledge!
And Harriet was ready to get down and dirty.
Give me that.
But one pledge had some fight in her.
I'm going to kill you!
Harriet didn't like being challenged, and the hazing got ugly.
Let the games begin!
There are ways to cheat during mud wrestling. For me, exposing my opponent's breasts will definitely help me gain advantage. My opponent will let go of me, try and cover themselves up, and that will give me advantage to grab them and get them in the submission hold that I want them in.
The new girl did her best.
Oh my God, come here!
But Harriet was soon on top, and she was going to make this slimy upstart swallow her pride.
Eat it!
Just as the pledge was ready to black out, the other terrified girls pulled her away.
Go cry, little girl!
The queen bitch strutted to the center of the pit.
I'm the queen! You suck! Oh no!
And sank into the quagmire. Harriet's Oedipi sorority sisters had unwittingly built their wrestling pit over an underground sinkhole.
That spot must have been located right over a pre-existing cavern with a very thin roof. Over time, the water would add weight, it would soften the rock, and finally, the roof of the sinkhole would have collapsed. She would have been buried by tons of mud, and that would have pressed in on her chest. Eventually, she would have suffocated.
Harriet enjoyed making her pledges' lives a living hell, until hell decided to swallow her whole.
Connection terminated. For most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more, waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting.
Pedro had finally done it. Against all odds, he won one last race. Then why, you ask, does the old jockey look so sad and broken? Because Pedro is dead. Pedro used to be a giant in the world of horse racing, but that was years ago. Recently evicted from his Fleabag hotel, Pedro was forced to get a roommate. Normally, other jockeys would pitch in and help a fellow horseman out. But Pedro had a long history of being a complete bastard.
Oh, now that's negative thinking.
If he could squeeze out one more victory, he could tell everyone to kiss his little jockey butt goodbye. He just needed to lose some weight.
The jockey's weight is essential for his career. You need to be light to ride the fastest horses and to win the most races. I do know of one jockey in particular who just gorges and binges and just chucks it all up, and that's his way of maintaining his weight.
The old jockey hit the weights and illegal Chinese laxatives. A month later and 20 pounds lighter, Pedro was ready to win and retire with dignity. Incredibly, Pedro won the race. But afterwards, there was no one to celebrate his victory, and no one to watch the weakened, sickly jockey fall off his horse and die.
The laxative caused his body to suffer from severe dehydration. This dehydration led to renal failure. Having low potassium in his blood, this eventually caused his kidneys to shut down, resulting in his death.
For Pedro, it was winning at all costs, even if the final price included dying.
Jimmy Dugan has no idea where he is.
Oh, no.
The only thing he does know, he doesn't want to be there.
This can't be good.
He's right about that.
What's that noise?
That noise is the last thing he hears before he dies. Before we see how the story ends, let's see how it all began. Dugan is a one-time CIA spook who went into business for himself.
In and out, just like that.
He made a ton of dough stealing corporate secrets. Dugan's latest job? He was hired to steal computer files for a rival software company. Piece of cake for this season's spook. He waited for his chance, and soon enough, he was mining computer gold. But his mission was about to become impossible.
Hey, what are you doing in here?
In the movies, the hunky spy always makes his getaway.
Hey, sir! That's a closet, sir.
But Dugan was working without a script and found himself trapped.
I'm giving you the count of 3 to come out with your hands up. 1, 2.
There was only one way out for this piece of human trash.
3.
And that brings us back where we started.
This can't be good.
Dugan was about to go from ex-spook to X'd out.
The incinerator reaches temperatures of 3,000 degrees within seconds, so he felt no pain. Those flames burned right through his skin, through the muscle, and into the bone. His blood boiled, so he evaporated all of his blood. All of his organ systems shut down, and basically he cremated himself.
Dugan chose to use the skills he learned as a spy for a life of crime.
Hey!
In the end, he came in from the cold, but couldn't take the heat.